everyone, and welcome to Checkpoint. I'm so glad you are here today, and as usual, I want to say thank you and thank you again for all that you do for us at Checkpoint. Thank you for your likes, thank you for your shares, thank you for your comments, thank you for always sharing our videos to links to your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors, and for all that you do. We are indeed very, very grateful. Now, today on Checkpoint, we have something exciting for you as usual. And you know that in Checkpoint, we always give you very information that is able to equip you, educate you, and empower you to live your best life always. And today on Checkpoint, we will be sharing a very important topic with you. So what are you waiting for? I'd like you to make sure that you share the link, all right? So thank you so much for all that you do in the past. And because of all that you do, our messages are able to reach a wider audience. Thank you so much. Now is the time for you to begin to share the links, share to your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors, and let them know that it is time for Checkpoint. I can't wait to share what I have for you today, and I know you will love it. All right, so I'll be right back after the break. Don't go anywhere. All right, everyone, and welcome back to Checkpoint. Now, today on Checkpoint, we have a very important topic to share with you. All right, so the topic for today is first date deal breakers to avoid. First date deal breakers to avoid. And today, I'll be sharing with you on the things that you need to avoid, especially on a first date. So at this point, you have already spoken to the person you want to go out on a date with, and he and she both have agreed, and then it is time for you guys to go on a date. So what are the things that you should do and what are the things you should not do in order to make sure that that date is a success? Remember, I always tell you that the dating relationship is just like the first phase that you have to go through before you begin to go into courtship and engagement, and then marriage. It is important that you get to know the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. You don't just see somebody and say, oh, you look so lovely, let's quickly go and get married. No, it's important that you relax and have time, all right? Get to really know the person involved. That is why I always say that a dating relationship is not a time to begin to have sex, begin to act like you're already married couples. No, this is a time for you both to be able to know yourself at a deeper level, all right? Know who you are, know what clicks for the both of you, know what his likes and her likes, her dislikes and his dislikes, and all of these things are things that you get to know during the dating relationship before you get into courtship, where you have agreed to marry, before you get into engagement, where you have told everybody that you are actually planning a wedding, and then before you actually get wedded. So this is very, very important that you know how to what to do and what not to do in your first date. So number one deal breaker that you have to avoid for your first date is arriving late. Arriving late. So let's say you are the guy, most likely, who will be the one to arrive, and then you're supposed to come pick her up from a particular spot, and then from her home, and then you arrive late. Now, the minutes between when you said you're going to arrive and when you actually arrive, a lot of things will be said, a lot of information will be given, a lot of thoughts will come true. And at the end of the day, you would discover that there is already a bad blood in the atmosphere, okay? So you don't want to start off that relationship on that kind of foot. So you want to be available on time, you want to arrive on time. So if you live in a place that is far away from where you're going to pick up your date from, it's important that you start coming on time. You cannot arrive late, okay? So you have to factor in the traffic, factor in anything that can happen on the way that can make you late and arrive early. In fact, it's better that you arrive too early and then you hang around to wait than you arrive late, because in those few moments the people at home and have told that this one that this person who is supposed to pick you up is not here yet. Is this person serious? Is this person a serious person? Is this person an unserious person? Is this person really interested in you or not interested in you? You know, stuff like that, and all of these things can eventually inject bad blood into a relationship that is just about to begin. So do not arrive late. Do I need to tell you that again? Do not arrive late. Iron your clothes on time. Get whatever you need to get for the date on time. All right, plan yourself ahead of time so that you don't arrive late. Because remember, it's the first date and first impression matters a lot. And I would always like to tell you that you don't have a second opportunity to correct a first impression. So you don't have a second opportunity to correct a first impression. That is why this first impression, you have to make it real good, all right? Arrive on time. Be punctual. Don't be a person who arrives late, okay? This is very, very key. Number 2 deal breaker to avoid for first date is being rude to the staff. Okay, being rude to the staff. For example, you arrive in the compound and then you meet the gate man. You have to be courteous, all right? You have to greet the person. You have to, when you meet a driver, just be courteous, just be good. You know, people can easily pick who you are from those first impressions. Like, you want to impress him, you want to impress her. You can't be shouting on the driver or the cab driver that even carried you, or on your own driver that was able to take you to the place, or the waiter that served your food, or the doorkeeper who did not open the door when they should have opened the door. First impression matters. And I must tell you, if you are somebody who is going out on a first date with someone, and the person is rude to everybody you have met, please do not exempt yourself, because it's only a matter of time before the person becomes rude to you. So don't say, oh, they are misbehaving. Everybody seems to be misbehaving today. That is why you are being rude to them. No, it's a red flag for you, all right? So you have to know that when the person is shouting on the driver, shouting on the waitress, shouting on the door handler, shouting on virtually everybody around, it's a sign, all right, that something is wrong somewhere. So you have to observe that red flag, know what it is, and then make up your mind whether there's going to be a second date or whether the date is not going to hold. Also, it's important that you find out if the person is having a bad day, but having a bad day is still not enough reason why the person should be shouting on everybody, because these are also people. They are also individuals. They have their own private lives. They also have their own issues, and yet they left their issues aside to be of service to others. And that's why the person who is having a bad day should also keep his or her feelings aside, and also make sure that he or she is able to serve the person they are hanging out with for the first time. So first date deal breakers to avoid, number 2, is rudeness to staff. You know, when people are like that, don't make excuses for them. Don't say, oh, everybody seems to be doing the wrong thing. It's important for you to know that it won't be long. That will be your own situation. He or she will be lashing out and being rude to you and shouting on you, because this is who they truly are. So it's important, very, very key, that you observe these things on the first date. Don't, because the first date location is so nice and cozy and warm and beautiful, and you get lost and you begin to think about the flowers, think about the ambience, think about the sweet smelling savor of the environment. Don't focus your attention on all of this. Remember, you are not dating the flowers and the ambience and the environment. You are dating an individual, and that individual is probably who you want to spend the rest of your life with. So it's something that you should not take for granted. All right. So let's talk about number three, first date deal breakers that you have to avoid, and that is being on the phone. Being on the phone. Imagine that you agree to a date with someone, or you actually are the one who asks somebody out on a date. You cannot afford to be on your phone all through, all right? So you are he or she is talking to you and you're busy tapping out on your phone, pressing on your phone, and then you tell the person, oh, excuse me, just 1 minute, I have to answer a phone call. You go out, answer a phone call, you come back, then excuse me again, I want to take a phone call. You go out and answer another phone call, and then you come back. You keep doing this, you keep tapping on the phone, you keep snapping and chatting out with your friends. Oh, our date is going wonderful. Listen to me, there is a time to tell your friends or to tell your family members how your date went. But that moment, that very, very moment when you're hanging out with that person is not the time to begin to talk about how your date is going. Meanwhile, you are still on that date. So these are the first date deal breakers that you really and intentionally have to avoid. You don't have to mess that relationship up, because this is really not okay. So don't be on the phone throughout. I know that at that moment you will be having a family emergency or something, but then let it be an emergency for real, not the kind of emergency that any other person can take care of. All right. So if possible, put your phone away, so that way you are able to concentrate on the person. Imagine that you are the one who is having a date who is not concentrating on you. How would you feel? Assuming you are the one on the receiving end, the one who is witnessing another person that you are dating at that moment being on the phone throughout, tapping on the phone, chatting, scrolling through the screens, and laughing hysterically with other people why they brought you there or why they agreed to come and meet you there. That is not nice at all. Even if the date is a very boring date and the kind of date you don't want to be in, it's important that you have wisdom and add some emotional intelligence to it, and then try to enjoy that moment, even if you know in your heart that it's not going to happen again, even if you know in your heart that you will not make yourself available again for that date. But then for that first impression, just try to carry it along well, with mastery, with wisdom, with some intelligence. All right, don't go ahead and be like the person who, don't make it obvious to the person that you are staying with that you dislike their presence or you're not happy to be there with them. Give them a chance. If you give them a chance by saying yes to a first date, then you should equally give them a chance to really hear them out, because you may not have another opportunity to be able to know who they truly are. All right, is that okay? So don't be on the don't spend time on your phone while on a date. If possible, put that phone away. I remember a particular date I went on with a particular person, and then during the date, that was a long time before I got married, okay? So during the date, the guy was more interested in telling his friends that he brought a beautiful girl for a date, much more than spending that date time with a beautiful girl. Okay, so he was busy taking pictures. He was busy calling his friends, telling them about how his date is going and stuff like that, much more than he was in the person he asked to come on a date. And you can guess, your guess is as good as mine. That date did not happen again, because you should be more interested in me than you should be interested in the opinions of what people and your family or friends think about me. All right, because you are the one who is eventually going to marry me. That is, if it was going to work. But then it's important that you know what to do, because if you're more interested in telling your family, oh, it's working, the date is going on fine, she looks so ravishing, she looks so beautiful, oh, he's so cute and stuff like that. If you're more interested in doing that than in actually getting to know much more about this person, then something is wrong somewhere. So please do not be on the phone all through. I know that even in this generation, we have lots and lots of things that are able to distract you, lots and lots of things that are able to take your mind away from the moment where you are. But it's important, even in our family, sometimes when we go out on family dates and family time with the children, we tell everybody, put away your phones, okay? Everyone puts away their phones so that we can actually enjoy this intimate moment. I know that this is an era of technology. Everybody wants to be online. Everybody wants to know what's happening. Everybody wants to be carried along. Everybody wants to know what's happening at the moment. But sometimes when it is for family, when it's for people you value, you have to intentionally put away your phone so that you can embrace that moment, so that you can enjoy that moment, so that you can have an uninterrupted moment. This one that you brought somebody out on the first date and you're saying, hello, hi, how are you doing? Okay, it's about that. All those reports should wait. All those information should wait. All those feedback should wait. This is not the time for it. Say, please, excuse me. You go to the bathroom, take a call, and then come out. Excuse me. That should not happen in your relationship, especially when it is the first date, because it's the first date deal breaker and you have to avoid it. Is that okay? All right. So let's talk about number 4. Number 4 first date deal breakers that you have to avoid is not keeping your hands to yourself. Not keeping your hands to yourself. I know there is chemistry. I know he looks so good. I know she looks so good. But then you have to learn how to keep your hands to yourself. There are many people who do not like the touchy feeling that other people have. The fact that I agree to go on a date with you does not mean you have to hold my shoulders or hold my waist or hold any part of my body. All right, so it's not like necessary. It's important that you also read the body language of the person. If this person is not even comfortable with you holding her hands or holding his hands, please keep your hands to yourself. One of the first date deal breakers people do not usually avoid is that they do not keep their hands to themselves. Keep your hands to yourselves, all right? I know that he looks ravishing. I know that she looks so beautiful, but keep your hands to yourself. It's a sign. It's a sign. It shows self-restraint. I remember also some of the times I went out on dates before I got married. You know, when you meet somebody like that, they make you very uncomfortable, and you don't want to be uncomfortable, because it can even make the person to shut down on you, even if you're a good person. So please keep your hands to yourself. I am telling you. Yes, you watching me right now, keep your hands to yourself. Can you type it in the chat room? Yes, I want everyone to be commenting about this video. Keep your hands to yourself. Type it in the chat room so that another person can hear it, another person can read it, another person can see it. Keep your hands to yourself, all right? I know that you have a chemistry. I know that both of you are attracted to each other, but still keep your hands to yourself. This is a first date, and you can't decide to do much more than the person gives you permission to. All right, I watch in movies, you know, based on movies, it's expected that in the first date you get to kiss the person, but it's not true. It's not true, and it's not right. We are Christians, all right? And as Christians that we are, we should be able to practice what the Bible says, okay? So the fact that he or she, you and her, or you and him had an amazing first date. There was so much chemistry. There was so much understanding. You guys gisted like you have met yourself forever. You guys talked like there was no, in fact, the time looked so short. I know it was an amazing day. That's all that it is. All right. So calm down. You don't have to go and start touching us, go and start sleeping over and stuff like that. This is not right. We are believers, and the Bible is our standard. We cannot go against the standard of God. That is why I'm telling you, keep your hands to yourself. Do you want that relationship to continue? You want that day to build into a blossoming, beautiful, wonderful relationship? Then keep your hands to yourself. Don't go touching and feeling and making. I know that the environment and the ambience was still romantic and all of that, but still keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Should I shout it? All right, I don't want to shout, but keep your hands to yourself. Let's talk about number 5. First date deal breakers that you have to avoid. Number 5, the first date deal breaker you have to avoid is talking about your exes. Talking about your exes. Okay, so this is your first date, your very first date, and you are just getting to know yourself. So you're just getting to talk. You're just going to see if both of you have something in common, and then the conversation is filled with stories of your ex. Whether it is a positive story or a negative story, it is not essential for that first date, okay? Keep your stories to yourself. Hey, I know there'll be time, if the relationship is actually going to work out, there'll be time to tell those stories. There'll be time to talk about what happened between you and your ex. The first date is not the time. You know, because many people do not know what to do on the first date. Eventually, their marriage does not go beyond the level of the first date. Many relationships are terminated on the first date simply because people don't know what to do and what to talk about. It's important. See, instead of talking about your exes, ask the person, how is your life? What makes you happy? What are the things that you do not like? What are the things you would love to see? What are the things you want to become? What's your future vision like? What are the things that you aim to be? All right, who is your model? Who do you look up to? There are several things to talk about. How is your family? What's the relationship with your dad, your mom, your siblings? How are they? Tell me something about your most interesting day. All right, which day would you consider the happiest day of your life? There are tons and tons of things to discuss. Where are you from? Where is your village from? All right, so what has always been your greatest fear? What has always been your greatest hope and aspiration? There are tons and tons of things to discuss. Don't end that relationship by just being clueless and you begin to talk about your exes, the people who were once in your life, whether you liked them or you didn't like them. It's inconsequential, because in that first day, you might see yourself talking negatively about an ex, and then when you're talking negatively about an ex, this person that you're in a relationship with is asking herself or himself, am I going to be the next ex, and would I be talked about like this? So these are the reasons why you should not talk about your ex. And if you talk about them in such a positive light, the person will be like, okay, so I am going to step into a relationship where there is excess baggage, all right? So the exes are still remembered with fond memories, which means that it's likely that when I step into this relationship, I will still have to contend with the exes. Whichever way you try to do this is a battle you don't win, whichever way it goes. So whether you're talking about the exes in a positive way, you're talking about the exes in a negative way, both of them, it does not work that way. So keep the story of your exes to yourself on the first date, okay? Don't start talking about your exes on the first date, because it's just a first date, right? It's just a first date, and you want to make sure that that relationship works out well, and that is why you have to keep your stories to yourself. Leave all of them alone. No matter how many the number of your exes are, that day is not the day for talking about your exes. Talk about the person in front of you. Hear the person, all right? Beyond talking, you too should be a good listener. Listen to the person in front of you. Listen to what they are saying and what they are not saying. There are verbal communication and there are non-verbal communications. Even body language is part of it. Ask the person, are you okay? Are you enjoying this moment? Would you want something like this to happen again? Or what do you think? There are stuff to talk about. Lots and lots of things to talk about. So don't go about blabbing about your exes. Is a deal breaker, all right? You know, at the beginning, I didn't tell you what a deal breaker is. A deal breaker is something that really spoils, just like the name implies, you know, it breaks the deal. It makes sure that things like this don't go out well, and that is why you have to avoid these first date deal breakers, because you want to have a very blossoming relationship. All right, let's talk about number six. Number six first date deal breaker that you have to avoid is making decisions alone. Making decisions alone. So you want to go out on a date with someone, you have to ask the person, do you have any location in mind? Don't tell the person, no, I have a place I'm going to take you to, but find out if the person is interested in going to a brand new place, okay? Because sometimes I know that in your mind, based on your experience, that this venue is an excellent venue, but you don't know if this person has been embarrassed in that venue before and does not want to go back there. If this person has a bad memory of that location, because he might say, oh, we're going to have a fantastic day. Don't worry, I am going to take you somewhere special, somewhere you don't know, but please try to carry the person along, because you might end up taking the person in a place that brings back negative memories, and because of that, you will destroy that first date, and that's not what you want to do. So don't make decisions alone. Ask him, ask her, what do you think about this place? Would you like us to go there? Have you been there before? And stuff like that. Don't make decisions alone. Even when the food comes on the menu comes on your table, please don't choose food from the menu alone. Ask him, ask her, what would you like to take? All right? What would you like? Okay. somebody is telling me this question can cost you a whole lot of money. But then be careful of where you're taking somebody on a date so that you don't take the person to a location where you cannot afford what they sell. All right, so this is very important. Not tell somebody, I'm taking it to Transcorp Hilton, and when we get there, we'll just take a bottle of Coke, and that's not what you should do. So always go to a location where you're sure that whatever it is that you see on the menu, they are most likely things that you can afford. Okay, so ask the person, what would you like to take, instead of telling the person, oh, this chicken fried rice, I've been taking it and I'm sure you will like it. This dry pepper sauce, I've been taking it and I'm sure you like it. Don't do that. Ask the person, what would you like to take? If the person says, I will take whatever you're having, or the person says something like, I'd like you to choose for me, you seem to be more familiar with this place, then go ahead and choose from the menu. But if this person has not indicated that you should choose for them, please ask them, what would you like to take? Don't make decisions all by yourself. When you do that, you appear very controlling, and nobody wants to be married to a control freak, right? So if you send out vibes that you didn't really mean to send out, but will make the person draw back and not want to have a second date with you. So this is very, very important, okay? So don't make decisions alone. Don't choose food from the menu alone. Even while you guys are eating and gisting and everything, don't decide on time to go alone. So you can ask a question like, don't you think it's time for us to go? I think we have spent enough time here. What are you thinking? Or, it's getting late. So stuff like that will indicate, help the other person make up their mind and say, oh yeah, it's getting late, we really have to go, and stuff like that. So don't take decisions like, oh, this is 7 o'clock, we have to go now, we are going now, stuff like that. Don't make it look like you are that controlling, okay? Nobody wants to be in a relationship with a person who is a control freak, because ultimately, you know that the person who is showing off their controlling features in day one, they will likely do lots and lots of damages, even in the relationship, as the days go by. So please calm down and make sure that you both are taking decisions together. Let it not be just like a one-sided kind of decision. You are not the only one having that date. There are 2 of you. So therefore, calm down and make sure that the relationship is going smoothly and that both of you are taking decisions on the venue, taking decisions on what to eat, and also taking decisions on the time to go. All right, I hope you are enjoying this session. I know it's basically for those young people who are still in relationships. If you are married, this may be something that you might need to just store up, save up, and share with a friend, share with a sibling, share with your own children. All right, so let's talk about number 7. Number 7, first date deal breaker that you have to avoid. In case you have been, you just joined us, we have been talking about first date deal breakers to avoid, and we talked about number 1, arriving late. We said number 2, being rude to staff. All right. Number 3, we talked about being on the phone always. Number 4, we talked about not keeping your hand to yourself. All right. Is there another deal breaker? Number 5, we talked about talking about your exes. We said this is a serious deal breaker. Number 6, we talked about making decisions alone. And in this number 7, we're going to be talking about having straying eyes. Having straying eyes. You are on a date with someone and you cannot focus on that person right in front of you. You see the way I'm focusing on the camera in front of me so that I can be attentive to you, so that I can be focused on what I'm doing. There are people that they go out on a date with somebody and they cannot keep their eye in one place. So they have straying eyes. Sometimes their eyes stray to things, sometimes it strays to human beings. Now, sometimes a television is on. Instead of you to keep your eye on the person you came out on a date with, you are just fixated on the television or on the football being played on the screen, and you forgot that you brought someone on a date. That is a serious, serious deal breaker. Don't be asking, hey, Manchester, Man City, Chelsea, which one is winning this match? Don't do that. If you're on a date, you can always go back and rewatch the match. If you're a football fanatic, please don't fix your date during game hours. Okay, this is very important. You cannot tell the person, oh, I didn't know that this was, and then you are distracted between the football on the television and the person right in front of you. It is a first date deal breaker. If the person witnesses this, the person will think about, oh, I think football might always come before me in attention, and nobody wants that, right? So it's important. If you are a lady and then they have beautiful lights or stuff, don't focus on anything. Don't keep throwing on things and then leave the person right in front of you. Don't forget that you also need this moment. You also need this first date moment, so that you will be able to know this person better, so that you'll be able to understand this person better. And that is why you have to be attentive, because that moment when you're focused on many other things, it's possible that a lot might be going on that you should have been able to see, but because you were distracted, you were not able to see what you ought to see. The second type of straying is when you're straying on people. So you are with a lady you brought out on a date, and then you saw another lady walking past, and you're like, ooh. And you're looking at this lady because of her curves and her shape and stuff like that. Uncle, serious deal breaker. You cannot do this. It is not permitted. It is not allowed. Not anywhere. All right. So you cannot do that. It's not allowed at all. So this is a major deal breaker, and you have to avoid it. Okay. You have to say no, because this is not right. You can't be with a lady on a table, on a date, on a chair, whatever you went on for the date, and then you are hovering, your eyes are straying everywhere, looking at other girls, looking at their boobs and curves. Such things are not permitted. And you are a lady, you came out on a date with a guy, and then you saw another guy that has more six-pack and broad chest and very tall height and stuff like that, and you begin to drool and swoon over such a person. It's wrong. Very, very wrong. So please, these are first date deal breakers that you have to avoid. Do everything in your power to make sure that you do what is right, especially on the first date. Like I said earlier, even if the situation is that you have made up your mind, you're not coming on a second date, still be courteous, all right? Still be courteous. This is very, very important. Still maintain courtesy, all right? And then treat the person right, because in as much as this person might not be a partner with you in a relationship, you don't know where you'll meet this person again or next time. And that is why you have to be nice to this person. Is that okay? All right, let's talk about number 8. Number 8 first date deal breakers that you have to avoid. Number 8 is being too shy. Number 8 is being too shy. So you came out on a date, you agreed to come on a date, and then you came on a date and you cannot talk, you cannot look at the person, you are shy, you are hiding your face, you are shying away and stuff like that. What did you come to do? What? Are you not old enough to be on a date? Unless you are still a kid, stay at home. But if you're not a kid, you're not a baby, and you're ready to mingle, you're ready to have a relationship with somebody, then sit up. You can still maintain your shyness, but then at the same time, you are able to express yourself. You're able to communicate well. You're able to be in that moment, all right? Don't be too excessively shy, like you're shy about this or you're shy about that one. You can't look up, you can't do anything, you can't eat because you're shy. Your hands are shaking. Listen to me. You have some growing up to do. Okay, so I know that we all were shy at one point in time. I remember I used to be shy like that, all right, but not like this one I'm talking about. Oh no. At least shy enough to be able to. You should be able to talk, communicate with the person. Not that I'm shy, I cannot talk. The person is asking a question, you're even shy to answer. Asking your question, food is in front of you, you're shy to eat. And then the person is trying to communicate with you. You're also shy to communicate, to answer. Something is wrong somewhere. So being too shy is a challenge. Don't be too shy. And then worst case scenario, it is the guy that is the very shy one. So he brings the lady out on the date and then he freezes up. He doesn't know what next to say. He doesn't know what to do. Ekpeleo. I've spoken Yoruba for you today. I don't know how else to relate. Hey, yeah. You have to really rehearse this in the mirror several times, especially if this is your first time. I know there will be elements of shyness, but the shyness should not overtake. All right, you are the one that is shy. Don't allow the shy to become you. So you can be shy, but don't allow shy to shy you away from your life, from a beautiful life together with somebody. So it's your first date, and even if you are shy, practice looking at this person's picture and talking to the picture, looking at the mirror and talking in the mirror. That way you're able to express yourself. If it helps, take a small paper and jot down the things that you want to talk about. Peradventure, you see her, and then because she dressed so nice for the dates, everything you want to say disappears from your brain. All right, so that can happen. It's actually a reality. All right, so irrespective of that, be the man, brave up, be able to talk. Don't allow shyness to take away a lifelong opportunity from you. All right, so if it helps, just jot down the things that you want to talk about, the areas that you want to chat about somewhere, and put it in your pocket, so that if in case you look at her and her eye, and they said that her eyes look deeper than usual, I know all of those love stuff, the chemistry is working, and then you forget, they ask you what is your name, you can't remember. You have entered one chance. So please make sure that you are composed, you are together, you have your mind together, you are in control of your emotions, and your emotions are not in control of you. All right? Am I helping someone at all? Okay. So I know some guys are really not shy. So this is just for the shy guys. And then some ladies are really not shy. This is also for the shy ladies. So I know this point may not apply to everybody, but it is essential that I talk about it. So let's talk about number 9. Number 9, first date deal breaker that you have to avoid is ordering an excessive amount of food. So someone told you that you are going to be on a date with him or her, and that very day you said, I am not going to eat from morning till night. In fact, I'm going to fast and go on that date. Uncle, auntie, I am begging you. I am begging you in the name of God. Before you go on a date, eat. Eat. Don't eat so that you're too full. Eat that so that you can control yourselves. You can control your appetite. So that you don't order a food and they say, okay, this food will take 20 minutes or 30 minutes to prepare. The waiter tells you that, and then you're like, oh, Father Lord, what am I going to do? Your whole body starts shaking. It's a deal breaker. Eat. Eat something before you step out of your house. Let me say it again. Eat before you step out of your house. It is wrong. It is unfair that somebody takes you out on a date and you order the amala, ewedu, ogbono soup, bitter leaf soup, okra, rice, chicken a la carte, pizza, shawarma, everything. It's just one date. Do you want to kill the person? Even if you're the one that is paying for it, you have to exercise self-control. Do you want the person to feel like you can eat a drum of food? So you might be laughing where you are, but this is a serious matter. A major deal breaker, a first date deal breaker, is ordering an excessive amount of food. Because if it is a man that is doing that, the lady will be asking, am I going to be a wife to somebody that eats like this, that eats like an animal? So you don't want to do that. So eat at home, eat from wherever you are before you appear on the first day, because the meals might take time, or even when the food is there, or when the food is really sweet, you don't have to eat everything. Okay? Is a serious first date deal breaker. Please let me know. Let me know. I believe I have a matured audience, and you have been out on a date before. Tell me one of the worst things that happened in that date. Tell me. Let me know in the chat room. Type it in the comment section. Tell me one of the worst things that you have witnessed on the first date or second date. Just let me know. Tell me in the chat room. Tell me one of the worst things that happened. Then one of the worst things that happened on the first date that you went out with someone. Just let me know. Just let me know. Just let me know. I have my own stories though, but I don't know if I'm going to tell them today or not. But I have my own stories of the dates I've been on. So you tell me your own stories first. Maybe before this video ends, I'll tell you just maybe one one of those stories. All right. So it's a first date deal breaker. Don't order excessive amounts of food. All right. Don't order excessive amount of food. This is very, very important. All right. So the one like it is number 10. Number 10, first date deal breaker that you have to avoid in a relationship is coming with friends who are insensitive. So I know that you are supposed to go alone, but I also know that in this our time and season in the world, things are really getting bad, and sometimes people don't trust other people. So you might decide to come with somebody, come with a friend or a family member who can chaperone you, who will sit at a distance while you discuss what you have to discuss. So it all depends on you, whether you are going alone or whether you're going with someone. You might be a very an older adult and you don't need anybody to chaperone you. You might feel safe and confident and you might not need anybody to go with you. But in case you decide that somebody goes with you, don't go with friends who are insensitive. Don't go with friends who decide to order. In fact, a particular guy asked a lady on a date, and when the lady showed up, she showed up with 2 of her friends. So the guy sat down and then the ladies sat with their friend and they surrounded the table. If you let's see what happened. These girls were ordering for food. They were ordering for before the people who actually came on the date could order food, they had ordered for plates and plates of food. Food was everywhere. They were eating, they were gisting away, they were smiling. By the time it was necessary for the guy to order his own food, he just went and brought 1 bottle of malt and kept in front, because the money he budgeted for the date is gone. It's gone, completely gone. In fact, plus his savings, because the lady he asked on the date came with 2 friends. So the other friend had eaten the one he was supposed to eat. The other friend had eaten the one he saved for another date. In fact, it was so embarrassing. The guy was so quiet, so silent, and they were so insensitive that they kept gisting and laughing, and they forgot that this was actually somebody's date. Even the lady that was asked on the date, I don't know what she had in mind, but this was a terrible thing to experience, all right? So it's important that when you are asked to come with it, if you must come with someone, please, the person should stay afar. The person does not have to eat anything you are eating. In fact, you guys should, but you that is bringing your friend should budget for what your friend will take, maybe a drink or a snack. Budget for what your friend will take when they are there. Or they should come with something from home, but the person who asks you on the date asks just you on a date, and did not ask a community out on a date, did not ask a village out on a date. So please don't do this to people. Don't be like that. Hey, type in the comment section. Tell someone, don't be like that. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Say it. Type it in the comment section. Say it. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Nobody should be like that. Okay? Because this is not. It's not nice. It's not nice, not by any chance, okay? So when you come with friends, they should be sensitive. They should not be insensitive people. Now, even if they are sitting at that table, they should not intrude. They should not interrupt unless something is actually going wrong somewhere. Maybe the person is angry and is trying to touch you or something like that. And that's the only time they are permitted to intervene or interrupt. But please, they should just keep their distance and act like they don't even come with anybody. This is important. And this is very, very, very key. Don't come with friends who disrupt the date. They are first date deal breakers, all right? Because the person will not be able to talk. Even if you came with somebody, please allow the person to stay at a distance. I remember when one of the dates, was that the first date? Yes, I think that was the first date I had with Papa, my current husband. My only husband. Okay, so I remember one of the dates, the first dates we had, he came with somebody, okay? So he came with a friend, and while we had gotten to the place where we're supposed to eat and then talk, because the necessary part is the talking much more than the eating. Well, it's nice to eat while you talk, but then what was most important, the essence of coming out, was to talk. So we sat at a table, and then I noticed the guy also came to sit at the same table with us, and I talked with him for a while, and then I told the friend, please, is it possible you sit at another table so that we can talk about a few things. And I wasn't shy about it, yet I was very polite about it. And if you know me, you will know that I have always been a very assertive person, you know. And assertiveness, like I always tell you, is being able to say what you want, being able to communicate without really hurting the feelings of another person. He knew that we needed some space to talk, and I didn't want me telling somebody I did not come out on a date, my private matter, you get? So I said, please, is it possible you pick another table somewhere so that we can really talk? And then he moved out, because where we went to eat and talk was a public place. It was like a restaurant of some sort. So we had a table, and then there were other tables. I told him, please, is it possible that you go to another table so that we can talk? And Papa then nodded at him, okay, yes, please. And then we were able to have a date. Imagine what that date would have looked like. I would have just been there as a lady staring at two guys. I won't even know which of them I came out on a date with. Okay, so it's out there. I've spilled it. You must tell me your own deal breaker during your own first date. Now, you see, everything we're talking about deal breakers, the deal breakers does not mean that that relationship has to end, or that will be the end of the date. It may be something that the person is doing that they really don't know about. It's like arriving late. Anything could have happened that could have made the person arrive late. And we are not saying that it should be the end of the relationship. No, but it can really negatively affect the relationship. And that is why we are talking about it in this video, so that you will know. And when you know about this, you'll be able to do right for yourself and for the person you are in a relationship with. So I have spilled mine. You are going to tell me your own. What are the the first date deal breakers that you have experienced in your own relationship? Tell me about them. Tell me about them. I want to know about them. Tell me. Let me know. Let me know. All right? So share. Because what you are saying or what you share might even help some other person. It might help some other person. Somebody shared with me about one of their first date deal breakers. I don't know what happened, but the guy left through the back door and left her to pay all the restaurant bills. That is why for some of you who go on a first date and you go empty-handed, because in your mind, this person is going to handle all the bills. Be careful. If it was later on I found that what happened that made the guy leave. The guy, from his own part of perspective of the story, he said that he brought the lady out on a date and he was trying to order things that were affordable, and the lady kept on ordering all the things that were so expensive. And eventually, when he looked and saw that he wouldn't be able to pay for this things, he left through the back door. Listen to me, that guy was an irresponsible guy. Communication would have solved that problem, okay? Please, I didn't come out with a lot of money, so we're going to just order snacks and drinks. Please, is that okay with you? So that next time we can plan better. Something like that. Communicate. Don't assume. Don't make assumptions. All right? So the guy just fled through the back of the restaurant and left the lady to pay the bills. Ladies had to start calling her father and her brothers to come and rescue her. Just imagine that kind of scenario. These are things that should not happen in the first place. So please, it's important. You see, people have their own stories. So I'm telling you, people have their own different stories to tell when it comes to first date deal breaker. So let me know what yours is, okay? And then we can talk about it. Now let's talk about number 11. Number 11 first date deal breaker is choosing a very lonely and risky location. Choosing a very lonely and risky location. When choosing a location or a venue for whether it's a first date or second date or third date, please make sure that you choose in a place that is not lonely, so that in the course of conversation, if anything happens, you know what to do. You'll be safe, all right? Safety is important. Don't say, oh, we want to have adventure. That adventure shouldn't be at the first date or second date or third date. Adventure is for people who you've developed a level of trust with the person that you're going out on a date with. So please don't say, I'm going for adventure this early morning. It's too early for an adventure. If it's a first date or second date or third date, please go to a location that is a bit public, where people are, where safety can be assured, all right? This is very important. Don't go to a very lonely or risky location. A lady went out on a first date with a particular guy, and just in that first date, she was raped. She was raped. It was a terrible experience for her. It is a very sad story for all of us who knew her, and this shouldn't have been. The moment you walked, you saw, but even when they tell you, this is where we're going to, Google the place and be sure that this place is a place you want to hang out in. Google the place, check out the place, send somebody ahead of time, you go ahead of time, and be sure that this place is a place where you want to be in. All right, so for your own safety, because you don't want to, in as much as you want a relationship, you don't want to die unnecessarily, right? So this is why you have to be sure of the location where you are going to. Don't go to a lonely place. People have been raped in lonely environments, all right? Several things can happen. You can say, oh, I'm a guy who is going to rape me. Listen to me. You might be duped. You might be duped in that lonely place that you're going for a first date. So be careful about the places that you go. Make sure that you check the places out. Make sure there is security, and please feel free. Like I told you, it's always good to be assertive, being able to say what you want to say without hurting people. Tell the person, I don't like that location and I won't be coming to that location. Is it possible we change to another location so that I'll be able to make it? And then by saying it without making the person feel offended, you will clearly state what it is you want, and then the person will understand. All right, especially if the person has good intentions. If the person insists that you have to be there, you are not an animal. There's no hook on your neck. There's no belt that will drag you to that place, so you won't go. So go to a place where you're sure that the location is not lonely and it is also not risky. So it's important. Make sure that you do what is good for you, because beyond relationship, you want to have a life. There are some ladies that are so desperate, they feel time is not on their side anymore. Time is going, they are aging so badly and they don't want to be alone. And because of that, wherever they ask you to come to, you just carry your bags and carry your stuff and start heading towards that place without anybody, those things are not good for you. And that is why I'm telling you this in this video, so that you will be careful about the things that you do. And finally, the last point I'd like to bring for you on the first date deal breakers is not telling anyone where you are going to or who you are going with. Not telling anyone where you are going to or who you are going with. Some people tell you, don't tell anybody, I want us to have a secret date. Listen to me. There's nothing like secret dates. There's nothing like secret first date, all right? Tell somebody where you are going to and who you are going out with. This has saved lots and lots of people's lives. You cannot tell somebody, we're going on a secret date. Don't let anybody know. I don't want anybody to know about you. Then what are you doing with the person? Because relationship are not meant to be a thing of secret, all right? The world is supposed to know that you and this person are nice and you and this person are together, a couple. And that's why you have to make sure that you don't date fraudulent people. And how will you know they are fraudulent? When somebody begins to give you some of these lines, just know that something is wrong somewhere. So if you want to go out on a date, make sure that there's somebody who knows where you're going to and who you are going out with in case of any emergency or in case of any problem. Let the person know by so time I should be back. If I'm not back, please start calling me. Start calling my phone so that I would start coming back. And if you call me and I don't pick, know that there's already trouble. Gather people and come and find me wherever I have gone to. So this is very important. Some people say, I want adventure, I want a surprise. All of those things, please calm down and receive surprises from people who truly love you, people who you truly know, people who you can trust, before you receive a surprise, death surprise that can kill you. All right, you don't want to be surprised by death. Some people will come say I'm going to a location, and when they go to that location, from there they take off to another location. If you are changing, if there is any reason, any cogent reason for you to change course from where you have gone to for a date, please communicate to somebody around you. Let them know that this location is where we plan to go to, but we had to change our mind because their AC is not working, their toilets are bad, the place is smelling, there are flies everywhere. There are reasons that may make you to want to change location. They did fumigation or stuff like that. Make sure that you let somebody know that this is where I'm going to and this is who I am going with. Don't go alone. I know we love adventure and surprise, but please, your life is much more important than the thrills of adventure and surprise. And these are the few things I decided to share with you today on the first date deal breakers that you have to avoid. Number one, we said arriving late is the number one deal breaker. Number two, being rude to staff. Number 3, being on the phone. Number 4, not keeping your hands to yourself. Number 5, talking about your exes. Number 6, making decisions alone. Number 7, having straying eyes. Number 8, being too shy. Number 9, ordering an excessive amount of food. Glutton. Number 10, coming with friends who are insensitive, who are there to just eat and make noise and distract you. We don't want them there. Number 11, choosing a very lonely and risky location. And number 10, not telling anyone where you are going to and who you are going with. These things are first date deal breakers that you have to avoid. Are you ready to apply them? All right, so do well to apply them. If you have been on the first date before and these things happen, make sure that in the next date that you're going to have that it doesn't happen. I really wish you well on your dates, and it's my prayer that you meet somebody who is so wonderful, who will treat you like you truly deserve and treat you like a king, treat you like a queen, bring out the very best in you, and then both of you together will put your hands together and spend the rest of your life beautifully and wonderfully. It is my desire for you that you meet that special someone, that one who will make your heart skip a beat, that one who will make your heart happy, that one who will make you look forward to a glorious life together. I am really wishing you the best, and until I come your way again, keep making a positive, indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. I love you so much. Bye-bye for now. Everyone, I hope you were blessed by that message. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and support us. If you are led, go ahead and just sow into the account right on the screen. And I know that as you do that, God will bless you big time. Because of the seeds you are sowing, you'll be able to reach a wider audience on different platforms. So please do well to sow that seed, and God will bless you. Love you.